All right, everybody. I just got a big whiff of cougar. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Field to Food Table Talk, episode 61. We're going to be talking about myth understandings. No, that was not a typo in the title. All the things that are old wives' tales or other sayings that aren't actually true in the deer woods. But first, we're going to talk about the organization for the week, which is Feeding America, fighting hunger nationwide. If you guys are interested in making donations to this organization to help bring food to the hungry, please use the link below. You can find it at feedingamerica.org. So, thank you. Myth understandings.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? We're going to dive into one more teaser for season 5.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we skipped that in the last episode. But you can only tease a 9-episode series so often.
Yeah, before you just become a bad thing.
Yeah. All right. August 21st this year is going to be the release of season 5 Field to Food hunt videos.
Yeah.
And we've teased a couple of episodes. I think the last one was the muzzleloader. So let's bring it into the bonus weekend.
Yes.
Have you heard of a hammer and anvil or bump and dump style hunt?
Yeah.
It's pretty much deer drive.
Yeah. A very slow, thought out deer drive.
Have you heard of someone doing that solo with nobody's help?
Bump and dump?
Yeah.
I've never done one, but I've heard of people doing them.
I gave it a whirl. It was my first planned bump and dump, and it wound up being a successful hunt. Season 5, episode 8, release date, I don't know.
Yes.
Yes. I'll have to talk to the guy who releases those. That's me. Okay. All right. So, myth understandings. We're going to work our list and just kind of go through them. And Kyle brought up off camera that someone he has heard say, and also pretty common one, I've heard it as well, is that you can't kill deer out of the same tree twice.
I've done it. I've killed 4 or 5. Well, out of the one food plot, which we've never moved, I've killed 10 deer out of that thing.
How many per season? Because I feel like...
Oh, there was one year I killed 3 by the middle of October out of that food plot.
So all within a very similar
I killed 3 deer within probably 3 weeks.
Okay. Are you being careful with your scents? Are you not tracking the deer until after a certain time? Is there anything scientific, or I guess not scientific, but any strategy to why that just wouldn't be true that you were doing, other than the fact that it's just a myth?
I really can't think of anything. I mean, you've seen our places, videos of it. Mm-hmm. You walk up a giant main road and the food plot's right off the side of it.
Yeah.
So how else are you going to get there? You walk up the main road, you hop into the stand, and I killed, I think right around 10 deer out of that thing in 10 years. This will be the 10th year we've had that food plot. So 10 deer in 9 years.
I would have to speculate and say that this saying came from someone who shot a deer, or multiple people, but shot a deer in a spot to where deer don't typically hang out at.
Yeah.
And saying, all right, well, I burned this spot out. I'm not going back to it.
Yep. But then it also brings up, how many times do you think they had their stand in a really good spot and they killed a deer and they were like, well, that's it.
Or they were trying to reverse psychology it and saw someone shoot a deer there and be like, all right, man, good job. That's your one for that spot. And then went there the next year.
Yeah.
Or the next week or whatever.
Yeah.
No, if there's a deer in an area, they're there for a reason. And the old saying is, if you find the old tree stand in the woods, hunt it, because it's probably a good spot. That old saying completely trumps this one.
Oh, yeah.
So there's your euchre hand. Hunt the old tree stands.
What's the next one?
Next one is deer meat versus age. A more mature older buck is less tender and less desirable to eat than a young deer.
No,
not at all.
It is if you don't know how to cook it.
Yeah.
Spend a little time in the kitchen, people.
So take care of your food from the the shot matters. It really does. But what matters most is
Your field care.
field care.
Yeah.
If you get on the meat quickly, let it cool quickly, and are able, if weather pending or access to a walk-in cooler or even a refrigerator, let the deer meat age and let it age past that rigor mortis stage, which my nurse wife behind me, 26 hours. 26, 30 hours, 36 hours for rigor to leave most mammals. I want to say 36 hours is the max.
Yeah.
So if you're able to age a deer past that day and a half, we typically go 4 to 5 days hang.
We'll do about. We'll get it quartered in the fridge, let it sit there for, I'd say, at least 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If and this one's been on Meat Eater at least a dozen times, but as you're cleaning your buck, if you run your knife down that tarsal gland,
Yeah.
which is that gland that the deer pee on, and get that oil on your knife, and you start cutting your meat with that, obviously that's going to make a big difference in deer quality, because that scent, that taste, that texture, all that oil that's got all that nasty stuff in there's getting on your meat. There's been many times that I have accidentally ran my knife through that, realized it, grabbed some wet leaves or dry leaves or a rag or just even my pant leg, cleaned my knife off, smell checked it, and then it was fine, and just keep on going.
Yeah.
So that's,
Especially you get that big peak ruddy buck.
Yeah.
That thing is juicy.
yeah, and you can't. It's hard to get around because that skin and that fur there is so thin
Yeah.
that you have a good chance, if you're not being super careful, to actually hit it and just get it off your blade.
Yeah.
And keep going. But I've never noticed a difference between texture for, I'm gonna say, 1.5 years and older, because we all know at this point that you boy here doesn't mind smacking a yearling every single year. And I say it like this for a reason, because the legs fit perfectly on my smoker. It checks out. It just checks out.
Checks out.
Now-
It's a sign.
So those
Smack that button, buck. Don't have any remorse about it.
those yearlings, definitely more tender.
No,
100% more tender.
Yeah.
But after that 1.5 years plus, I've never once noticed a difference. And honestly, the more mature deer, you have more meat. Same thing with turkey. You were down here the other day when we were grinding up pig, right?
Yeah, we were grinding it. We were just trimming up the pigs, and you pulled the turkey meat out to make sausage with.
Yeah, and I had Tom legs and I had Jake legs, and the difference between the two was almost double.
Yeah.
Put your tag on something. Well, first off, that you want. If you're happy with it, kill it. But if you're gonna specifically hunt for food, go after the more mature animals. There's more meat on them, and it's still just as tender. Aside from turkey legs, I'm about giving up on those turkey legs.
Have you tried the sausage yet?
No. All right. So if you guys go back a couple episodes in our hunting stuff, you can see that we talk about how to make tough things tender, and it was more or less some cuts from venison or a couple of pheasant recipes and stuff like that. I have been trying for the better part of a decade to make turkey legs tender. And my final resort, which we haven't tried yet, because I always like to let the meat age in the freezer for a little bit. No reason behind it. It's just a mental thing for me. I ran out of things to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying turkey sausage. I added some pork fat and some. I don't even know if we seasoned it. No, we didn't. It's just in there plain. So we can try it for Hungarian sausage, breakfast sausage, Italian sausage. Doesn't matter. If this stuff is tough, I hate to say it, but I'm giving up on turkey legs.
I just gave up on turkeys.
I can understand why.
Sleeping in the spring's nice.
A couple seasons, I can understand why. All right, moving on to the next. Deer don't look up.
This one is tricky for me. I think naturally, deer don't look up because, especially in the Midwest, there is no predator above them.
Correct.
Except
maybe bear, maybe us.
Yeah, maybe us. We are the reason deer look up.
Yeah.
Because I have had this happen. I have had yearlings come in, and I have stood up and grabbed my bow, and they don't look up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a 1.5 year old doe come in, who has who has a season under her belt,
Has been in the woods for a minute.
who probably watched her mother
Take one.
get smacked
Take one.
from something up in the tree.
Yep.
And that 1.5-year-old doe, every time you stand up and grab that bow, if she is anywhere inside of if she can see you and you can see her, there's a lot of times she's going to pick you off.
Yeah. I have hunted both Pennsylvania and Michigan on a regular basis. And those two states, if you look up statistically, are the two highest deer hunter states. Mm-hmm. Those deer look up.
Oh,
no doubt about it, especially Michigan. PA, I've gotten away with a lot more, but Michigan, those deer definitely look up. And that is hunting pressure. That is deer being educated. And we said last year in the podcast, which got a lot of flack, but it's because it was the clip that we got flack on TikTok, that I said deer know exactly what a tree stand look like. Deer that have been around for a minute know certain areas that they need to look up in.
Oh, yeah.
They know that this hillside, sometimes there's a guy up in a tree. And then in that clip specifically, I was talking about the advantage of being able to hide your silhouette behind a tree trunk with a saddle. Yeah. But that's not any fault. Like, I don't mind people giving me shit on TikTok because you're getting a clip of the whole conversation. I understand that people aren't going to go to the YouTube channel to watch the whole video. That doesn't bother me. You guys got me over 500,000 views on that. Hate me all you want. Thank you. Thank you.
No. If you put a tree stand up in the woods and you don't move it for 5 years and you shoot a doe out of it, it had little ones, and those little ones stay in the area, they're going to remember that tree stand.
Watch you climb down to go get mom. Mm-hmm. Yep, I ran into that multiple times, and I don't know if I've ever seen the repercussion this season later from it. But anytime that a deer sees you, smells you, or anything, gets an education from you, it's going to remember that and learn from it. It is their survival to learn from predators.
Yep.
So deer definitely look up. All right, Kyle, you can take this next one. It was brought up.
I've heard this is not from personal experience.
I've heard it before too.
Well, what you said and what I said, mine's a lot grosser than what you said. I heard an old guy I worked with who swore up and down that when he was younger, he would take his wife, then girlfriend's, used tampons in the woods and hang them in a tree, and he shot multiple deer using that method. And one, I don't believe it, because to me I feel like it doesn't line up with what it's blood, Dane. Two,
I'm just thinking about
I don't think you could pay me enough money to dig in the trash for the love of my life's used tampon.
You probably said, hey, honey, put it in a bag.
I don't even want to do that. I feel like after that, she's going to have a really weird judgment of me that I don't want to have her to carry on for the rest of her days.
Right, wrong, or indifferent, successful or unsuccessful, if it works or it doesn't work, I don't care. I will never try.
No, never try.
Either way, either or. If someone who watches this wants to give it a try,
if someone who watches this has done it, please let us know.
Let us know, because that is one tactic that I'm just not going to venture out on trying.
Now, what Casey said was...
Or, hold on, we get into a real deep sample here, and then we can go through what kind of birth control, if any, does affect.
Oh, you're digging deep.
I mean, it's the change in the hormones. Or, if you want to get even deeper in it, was there pregnancy? Was there recent pregnancy?
I just want to move on is what I want to do.
You brought this up. And I have a curious mind.
You made me bring it up.
I hope that someone's watching this and the wife is in the background and she's going, what the fuck? That would make my day. Also, leave a comment if that happens to one of you guys. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm good.
All right. This one I've heard since I was a kid. I think we all have. And what we've learned about deer hunting, not only personally, but in general, because of the hunters like THP or a couple of those other big YouTube channels that put out really good information, is nocturnal deer movement. I 100% believe if a deer is pressured in an area and he wants to stay in that area, he will move, or she, the deer will move its
cover of dark.
pattern to the cover of darkness. I don't think a mature buck or mature doe knows to only move at night. I think they move when they want, when they feel comfortable in that area.
A deer is a slave to his stomach.
Not only that,
If it's hungry at noon, it will eat at noon.
but if you're scouting, especially midsummer right now, or even on a hot October or November day, they're gonna move later in the day if it's hot.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that contribute to deer movement, and study after study has proven that nighttime doesn't matter, and this one's controversial still. We hear about it all the time anytime we bring it up. Moon phase does not matter.
I agree with that. Personally, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I can show you 50 guys that would yell at me right now for saying that, but
I think that is one of the biggest wow, I'm struggling with that one today. Controversial subjects that guys can agree to disagree on. You have the compound versus crossbow conversation. Guys get fired up. But moon phase, I don't think there's
friendships end over moon phase.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just.
I haven't talked to my dad in 10 years since he hunts the moon.
I don't know. I've never been. It makes sense. It's a good for the nocturnal. It's a good thing to justify why you're not seeing deer. Saying, "Oh, I'm not seeing this buck. He's nocturnal." My thought is, one, you're either bound by property lines, or two, you just haven't had enough pieces of the puzzle yet to put together.
That your access is bad.
Yeah, there's something that you're doing more than likely that's not getting you on the deer. And I'm not calling anybody out. There was a lot more that I could have done last year for a couple of bucks that I probably would have been successful on. And that's just last season alone. I can think of probably half dozen if you gave me a minute of what I could have done better. But you can't blame it on something that just makes it easy. You can't pass the blame. You can't just say like, you know what? I've heard this before. It's probably just that.
Right.
Deer aren't nocturnal. Deer make adjustments because of pressure and temperature.
Yep. I agree.
Well, that's going to wrap up our recording for today.
61 is in the books.
61 is in the books. Thank you guys for watching. We don't know what's next. Typically, I have these planned out a little bit further, but between 2 jobs and a very busy week, and also a wife who's putting in more hours than I knew about, woot, 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 woot. I just haven't been able to plan stuff out. So
that happens.
Yeah.
Life happens.
I hope everybody who missed recording these episodes, the Field to Food roster, had a great vacation. By the time this comes out, you guys will have been gotten back, probably sunburnt and ready to go back on vacation again.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
Well, my next vacation's PA.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. I'm ready.
Yep, let's do it.
Thanks for watching. Tampons, huh?
Dude, that guy swore by that. And he's even said, I remember him saying, he goes, once my wife hit menopause, he goes, I stopped killing big bucks. And like for like the longest time, I was like, he's joking. And then I talked to a couple other guys. He's like, oh no, dude. Like, the one other older guy that worked there, he's like, I hunted with him
All right.
when we were younger. And yes, he did that.
This is my curious mind again.